Great. Hello and welcome to Fanshawe College's virtual open house today. My name is Jay Park and I work in International Center of Fanshawe College. I will be the host for today's season. Before we begin today's season, I'd like to review a few housekeeping items. Audience, please turn off your webcam and mics. If you have any question throughout the season, please submit it within the question box. To open the question box and click on the question mark. Following the season, we will have a live Q&A from the question submit. We will try our best to get through all of your submit questions. If we will not have enough time to answer all of your questions, please don't worry. You can contact international@fanshawe.ca, and also you can book appointments with country recruiter like me, and you can go fanshawecollege.as.me. Then you can make a online appointment. If you have multiple programs open and running, it may compromise your webinar experience. We recommend you take a moment now to close any open programs before we begin today's season. Now, I would like to introduce Anne-Marie, who will be speaking about pre-health science at Fanshawe College. After her presentation, we will have live Q&A, so please leave your questions in chat box or question box. All right, Anne-Marie.
Thanks, Jay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our pre-health orientation, or just a little bit of information on what we do here in Canada at the Woodstock campus. So thank you for showing an interest in pre-health sciences. I get a lot of questions every year about how hard is it, and what do I have to study, and where can I go from pre-health sciences. So I'm just going to cover a little bit of information which I hope you will find useful. In our pre-health program in Woodstock, and we are what's called a satellite campus, and that just means we're about 30 minutes from our main campus, which is the big campus in London. But the beauty of Woodstock is that we're nice and small, and we offer really small class sizes and free parking. So we offer the same programs that London does, and what we do with London is coordinate all of our course material. So you are not at a disadvantage if you come to a smaller campus than if you go to the larger campus, because we deliver the same material at the same time. We even have the same exams. So you're not at a disadvantage at all if you come to our smaller campus. We have a staff that has been handpicked because of their expertise. So for example, Professor Jonathan Head, he is our anatomy and biology teacher. He's actually a chiropractor. Professor Blanchard, he's a chemist. Professor Schreider teaches physics, and he is actually a physicist. He is just completing his PhD in physics. Professor McMahon, he was actually a high school teacher. And the reason we chose Charles was because he knows what high school students know, and more importantly, what they don't know. So he is a great resource for mathematics. I am Anne-Marie Sendas. I teach practical applications. My specialty is business and computers. And then we have Mary Paquette, who teaches our RIT program, and that's reading and writing at the college level. So when you join us for our pre-health program, you will have 2 semesters. In the first semester, you will take anatomy, biology, chemistry, math. Everyone takes physics, practical applications, and hopefully RIT. You do have an opportunity to test out of RIT, which means you just have to write an essay. But I encourage all pre-health students to please take RIT. Because all students come to Fanshawe College thinking, oh yes, I can write at the college level. I know everything there is to know about plagiarism. and most of the time they don't. So it really is a good idea just to take that course rather than try to get out of it. Then in the second level, which for us right now is coming up in the winter, you do have a choice between physics or sociology. That is really the only option you have. So what is really great to figure out where you're going after pre-health and make sure that your career program, we call them career programs, does or doesn't need physics. Because if you are going into registered practical nursing, for example, they have dropped the requirement of physics. So here in Canada, anyone, or Ontario, anyone going into the registered practical nursing program doesn't need to take physics the second time. So they can choose to take sociology. So that is really the only option or elective that you have when you take pre-health. At the Woodstock campus, we have made a campus agreement with all faculty. And even though we are online because of COVID, and of course you're coming to us from far away, we have agreed to hold one live lecture every single week for every single course. So what that means is we're not going to throw you online and expect you to learn anatomy or physics or chemistry or math or biology or RIT all by yourself. Your professors will be online every single week for at least 1 hour. So you'll get a little bit of face-to-face with them virtually, and you have the opportunity to communicate with them and ask them questions. Of course, you still have email, but this is just a way for you to get to know your professors and for them to get to know you as well. And we want to make it a little more personable. So there are different people that join our pre-health program, and they're all going in different directions. So dental hygiene, massage therapy, paramedics. So I bring this up because there's a lot of students that will come to us in the pre-health program, and halfway through they'll say, oh my goodness, why am I learning this math? I'll never use it. Well, you may never use it, but someone in the course will use it. And here's how pre-health was structured. We didn't just wake up one day and say, we're going to teach all of this material. We conversed with the different career programs to find out what they want you to know by the time you get to them. So for example, people that are going into massage therapy, we've met with those faculty and we've met with the people that are hiring massage therapists and said, what do you want students to know? And they have put together this package and we have combined it to deliver this material. So the stuff that we teach in pre-health really gets you ready for your career program so that when you start nursing or massage therapy or practical nursing, you are ready to go. You don't need to learn the basics and you're ready to learn how to be a paramedic or a nurse or a dental hygienist. So that's how the whole program is structured. So yes, you may not need to know that particular math, but someone else in your class needs to know that for their career program. We've done a lot of research. We have a lot of agreements with different post-secondary institutions here in Ontario that recognize pre-health. So if you are choosing to go to, let's say, McMaster University, you're going to want to call McMaster University or work with Jay and make sure that that school recognizes Fanshawe College's pre-health program. So we have been working on getting it well known across the province, but as you can imagine, that's a really big job. So a lot of these institutions do recognize pre-health just for your own benefit and make sure. So before I turn it back to Jay, I just want to bring up something that I get asked every year. I'll hear from students, oh, can I pass with a 50%? Well, you can pass with a 50%, but you will not get your pre-health diploma. In order to get your pre-health diploma, you need to have a certain GPA, grade point average. So really, you need 60% to earn your diploma. You can pass with 50, but you won't get your diploma. But aside from that, because you are going into very competitive programs, meaning nursing, paramedic, whatever you're going into, highest grades matter. And here's how that works in a nutshell. You have a bunch of students, let's say there's 1,500 students applying for practical nursing. But let's say we only take 1,000 because we only have 1,000 seats. The way they determine who gets into the program is really based on grades. So I always encourage pre-health students, don't make the 60% your goal, not in pre-health. Make your best effort your goal. Do your best, get your highest grades, because when the push comes to shove and you're in line with those other 1,500 students, you really want to put your best grades forward. And that's how they will choose who will get admitted into these career programs. So Jay, I'm going to turn it back over to you and see if there are any questions that I can answer for the ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Emery. It was really great information. And I believe you guys got all of the information regarding the pre-health science Woodstock campus. Of course, I have some questions that I would like to answer.
That's
So
fantastic.
international students would like to know, and you mentioned Woodstock has a small classroom size. So how many international students does Woodstock campus accept?
Oh, that's a great question. So our school is very small. I think we've got 8 classrooms. So we will take, I think we can take up to 55 pre-health students. And that means international and Canadian. First come, first serve, sign up, and we will be glad to have you here. So as far as I know, we do not have a restriction on we'll only take 10 internationals, because we know that pre-health students really have a career goal and we want to help you get there.
All right, that's a great answer. And how many students are studying in the classroom? You said how many students in a classroom usually?
Our biggest classroom can take up to 55 students.
Okay.
So we pretty much can't take many more than that. We are at
Okay.
capacity.
All right. And next question is from India. I'm a dentist from India. Is taking dental hygiene after doing Bachelor of Dental Surgery is useful?
That might be a question for you though, Jay. Like, you would have to look at the credentials that they need here in Ontario to practice. And I would assume there would be somebody at the international office, if not through Fanshawe, through a university or another post-secondary institution, that would really take a look at your transcript and see if anything is transferable. Is that close to what the question?
Yeah, I agree with you. And also, what I can tell you, all of the international students, especially India students, we have an India team. And all of India students, you have to apply through the India team, and also you have to contact them. And they have a specific information for all of India students. So feel free to contact them, and you can find their contact information from our main website, and please go to international website webpage, and you will see their cell phone number and their email address. So feel free to contact them. And next question. Can students study pre-health science in Woodstock and study one of 2-year or 3-year health science program in London campus? Would it be possible?
Yes, that's a really great question. So at the Woodstock campus, because we're small, we only offer about 7 full-time programs, one of which is the practical nursing. So if you took pre-health with us at Fanshawe in Woodstock, and you wanted to take, let's say, massage therapy or dental hygiene at the London campus, absolutely. You would have to go through the application process like every other student, but the benefit of taking pre-health is that it gives you a little bit of an edge. It gives you a few points as you become competitive. Now, if you were going to a different university, that's totally different. We can't control that. But within Fanshawe, yes, you can absolutely spend a year with us and then switch over to London, even if you wanted to take nursing, but you would have to apply through whatever process you do internationally.
All right, sounds good. And next question. And Fanshawe College, we have collaborate nursing program with Western University. So I wonder if student must to study pre-health science before studying collaborate nursing.
That's another one. So that's one of our biggest questions we get. We get a lot of students that want to go into the collaborative nursing program. That program is very, very competitive. As you can imagine, everybody wants to go through that program. That is the most competitive program that we offer. So by taking pre-health, again, that gives you that little bit of an edge because you've got the points or the grades from pre-health. We have found over the years that students coming into the nursing program from high school, I haven't ever seen anybody get in without pre-health. I just haven't. Because let's face it, you need your chemistry, your biology, you need your physics, and without that, it really is a struggle. I had a student last year who begged me to let her in, and she was not successful because she didn't have the background.
All right. So we recommend you to study pre-health science before you will study collaborate nurse. And also our 2-year and 3-year health science programs are getting competitive. So international students are always asking us, what if student will not get high enough GPA to study one of our health science program? Can they retake pre-health science or they have to change their program?
They could absolutely retake pre-health. So at the Woodstock campus, I keep a really close eye on all of the grades. I'm the program coordinator. So about 6 weeks into it, we take a look at how you're doing in every course. If it looks like, you're going into nursing and your grades just aren't there, we try to work with you to get your grades up there. We offer you counseling. We can get some peer tutors going. And then we check in a couple weeks later because we know that if you've made the commitment to pre-health, you've got the dedication. There just must be something else that we can do to help you get those grades up. Now with pre-health, if you do take the first semester with us and you unfortunately fail a course, you're out of the program. So you have to pass all courses in the first semester to move forward into the second semester. But you could, by all means, maybe wait a little bit and then come back to us in the following September and try it again. We've had students do that for many different reasons.
All right, thanks so much. And next question, what is the most important thing international students have to prepare before studying pre-health science?
Math. Math, math, math. Every
What
year
about the
oh my
anatomy
goodness.
or other science?
Oh, the math, and I'm not really, I'd have to actually look at the statistics from international students, but our Canadian students, if you can believe it, they cannot cross multiply and they cannot do long division. And that causes them so much stress. So if you are really great in math and you can do math in your head, then I would probably concentrate more on the RIT, on the reading and the writing. Those are the two things that most of our students struggle with throughout the year.
Okay, math.
Math.
Simple, great answer. Okay, next question. What is the common questions during international students are studying pre-health science?
Sorry, say that again?
What is the common questions during international students are studying pre-health science?
I can tell you the common concern is they have trouble with plagiarism.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So one of the things that I would recommend would be understand what plagiarism is to Canadian education system. That's probably a very big international issue. Plagiarism is where you copy someone else's material and you use it as your own. That's actually considered cheating. And if you do that on a test or an exam, you would get 0. So that is one of the challenges that professors in all programs at Fanshawe Woodstock, with all students internationally more so than Canadian, is the plagiarism, is understanding what that is and what is considered cheating. That's a very good question. And we've actually been talking as coordinators about how we can address that with our international community.
Right, I agree with you. When I was a student at Fanshawe, I also didn't understand what plagiarism was, but I studied at EAP and they teach me. So that is really important. And also we have a specific program before you will submit your assignment. So
Yes.
the program will show you how percentage you copy from other sources that you have to fix. So we have reading and writing course in the first semester, which you have to study and you have to pass. And during your studying reading and writing, they will also teach you how you can make beautiful assignment or essay. So, all right.
Yes. And I'm gonna, if
And
I can jump in there, I have one more. We have one of our staff members who is dedicated solely to our international students, and her name is Becky Arnott. And she actually runs classes outside of your normal classes where it's just for international students, and she addresses this kind of stuff. What is it that's giving you trouble that you don't want to talk about maybe in front of our Canadian students? And she has a really good program, drop in and help you with these kinds of things that might be new to you. So we're not going to leave you on your own. We've got lots of resources for you.
that's great. And what if international students are struggling to study one of subject? How Woodstock campus will support them?
Oh my goodness, we have, well, okay, so my theory as the coordinator is if you're struggling, tell your professor. If you're not comfortable telling your professor, email me. And what I will do is put into motion our student success advisor. She will get in touch with you. We will find you the resources. We will find you peer tutors if that's what you need. And being a small campus, we're not dealing with thousands of students. At most, we're dealing with 300 students. So it's not like you'll have to wait 8 weeks to get some help, but we do kind of put that responsibility on you. You let us know when you're struggling. And then once you start with the emails to myself or your professor, then we take over and away we go, and we'll find you the resources you need.
All right. So Woodstock campus is ready to support you. So don't worry.
Mhm. We
So
are.
if you're ready to study, of course, anytime we can support you. Don't worry. And many international students also would like to study practical nursing program at Woodstock campus. Do you know how many international students they usually accept every September intake?
I think it's just based on applications and numbers. And I have a feeling she has 65 students in her RPM program this September.
Hmm.
And I would guess probably 20% of them are international students. And really, if you've got the prerequisites and you've got the drive to work and you've applied on time, you have just as great a chance of getting into that program as anyone else.
All right. And also, after our students finish pre-health science and practical nursing or other health science, some of the students who already had experience in Woodstock, they also want to go back to Woodstock and get a full-time job. So would you please tell international students how many hospitals and clinics are in Woodstock?
Oh, okay. So we have one large hospital in Woodstock. London is about 35 minutes away. It is the larger center, has more hospitals, more medical centers. They are actually just building a brand new medical center across from the hospital as we speak. There's lots of doctor's offices, chiropractors, dental clinics. For example, my dentist was actually looking to hire someone last month who would sort of greet patients, take their temperature, kind of like a receptionist, but he was willing to train them on whatever they wanted to learn. And he would work around their class schedule. And about a year ago, he asked me if I knew a student that would be a dental hygiene assistant, and he was willing to put them through school. So we found him one,
Okay.
and he sent that person to school, paid for their education, and they're now working. So there's lots of opportunities. Keep in mind that we're not as big as London. I'm not sure what city you're coming from, but we're looking at about 40,000 people. But we have little pocket communities that are about 15 minutes away. So Tilsonburg is 15 minutes away. It has its own hospital. I live in Ingersoll, which is 10 minutes away. We have our own hospital.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I only have 2 more questions left. And first question, student is asking, Fanshawe Pre-Health Science, full name is Pre-Health Science Pathway to Advanced Diplomas and Degree. Compared to other schools, the name is different because other schools only says Pre-Health Science. So what is the difference between Fanshawe College Pre-Health Science and other Ontario colleges Pre-Health Science?
Very intuitive of whoever asked that question. It's based on the fact that we have what's called articulation agreements or agreements with different post-secondary institutions so that they recognize what our students learn in pre-health. So rather than it just be pre-health and you can go to RPN, there are so many other avenues, so many other institutions that recognize the education that you've earned through pre-health, and they will take that as a prerequisite to your career program. Currently, they're almost done. We're working on an agreement with Queen's University. So it really is the way that our main coordinator has presented this program to different universities saying, this is what our students are learning. You really should recognize this. And we changed the name about 2 years ago to reflect the learning that you come away with when you're done.
Okay, there's a great answer. And it will be a last question. So student comparing Fanshawe Pre-Health Science courses and other Ontario schools courses. What is the reason Fanshawe College students have to study human anatomy and biological science? Because
Sorry,
other colleges are not teaching
sorry, I missed that. Why do they have to study?
human anatomy and biological science.
Anatomy and
Maybe
biology?
others. Yeah, because maybe other schools are not teaching human anatomy.
Actually, any pre-health program ought to be teaching anatomy and biology for sure. That should be one of the core courses, absolutely. Because what we do is we teach you those basics so that when you go into that career program, they don't have to waste their time teaching you all those little things that you ought to know. So that's why biology, chemistry, physics, math, what else have we got? All of those things are there because you've got the core material, you've got sort of the prerequisite, off you go into your career program. And instead of learning the endocrine system, you're learning the actual skills for your craft and learning how to take care of patients. Did that answer the question if I understood the question okay?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, that was a great answer.
I just wasn't sure I understood the question.
No. You understand. Don't worry. All right. So I think we are now reach our end of season. So thank you all students who submitted the question today. And we
Thank you
hope
so
that
much.
we answer all of your questions. But if you still have education in your brain or mind, feel free to contact Fanshawe International Center. And email address is international@fanshawe.ca. And also you can book an appointment, one-on-one appointment with country recruiter. Please go to fanshawecollege.as.ca. Okay. Thank you, Anne-Marie, for taking your time today to speak to us about your program, Pre-Health Science at Fanshawe College. And I
Thank you
hope
for
you have
having
a
me.
great day. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, guys.